Welcome to another edition of the BFT chat. Today we are speaking to Mr. Solomon Lartey. He's the Managing Director of Activa International Insurance. We are going to be talking, we are going to be looking at the insurance industry in Ghana in 2016 and then also what the prospects are for us in 2017. There have been some challenges, we are told, but how can we overcome that low penetration, which is under 2% that we talk about? Thank you very much, Mr. Lartey, for joining us on the BFT chart. Now, let's look at the insurance in Ghana. I mean, we know very well that we are still under 2%, as they say all the time, in terms of penetration. 2016 in particular, what is your reflection of the year 2016 for the insurance industry?
Well, for me, I think 2016 was a difficult year for insurance companies. It's like that because every election year, everybody becomes hazy. We don't know what's happening. We don't know who is coming and who is going. And many times, most investors try to take out some money from the system. So apart from the fact that they are not coming to do new investments, some of the monies that they have, they try to take them out. It doesn't matter whether Ghana has had some stability for some time or not, they still try to take money out. And so investments slow down, which means that business activities generally will slow down. That's affecting insurance as well. So 2016 wasn't as good as we would have expected it to be, but we survived.
When you say it wasn't as good as you expected it to be, is it in terms of the number of new policies that you were able to underwrite, or it has to do with the fact that there were too many challenges within the system which then caused people coming to do claims? I want to understand, underwriting claims, where did the challenge come from?
Well, like you rightly put it, the first bit is about premiums coming in, which were not as huge as expected, even though the increment in motor rates, motor tariffs helped a bit, but for companies who did not write a lot of motor businesses, they wouldn't feel it, so that was it. But the problem, the other side was the claim side, as you're saying, where most companies have to pay claims, but the claims were not necessarily 2016 claims. Claims that occurred in 2015, following the floods and the fires, all those things that occurred. Some of them matured in 2016. My company, for instance, we paid more than 24 million Ghana cedis to just one entity in Ghana in 2016, but the loss occurred in 2015. So that's what I mean by some of the difficulties.
I see. Now, let's look at, I mean, beyond that, what were also the challenge, the great challenge that with the economy that also affected you, that you think that these things ought to be looked at the regulators level or maybe at the bigger governmental level?
Well, I will speak for my my industry. As an insurer, one major thing that did affect my operations was regulation, and it has to do with the strong desire to domesticate insurance business in Ghana. We are all happy that insurance premiums remain in the country. But what we don't usually know is that insurance is a risk transfer mechanism. Insurance involves sharing, spreading risks so that you don't feel it. So if you have a certain volume of water and you spread salt or color into it, depending on how much the water is, you would be able to see the color, or you might not see it at all. It's like throwing something into the ocean. That's how insurance is. So if you saturate your market with insurance premiums, be ready to saturate your market with claims. For instance, I give you an example of paying 24 million cedis worth of claims to one entity. All those monies, more than 19 million of it came from outside Ghana. But the question our government was asking was, but you wrote let's say, 100,000 cedis worth of insurance premium, and you retain 10,000, why did you send out 90,000? The 90,000 is to buy reinsurance protection, okay? And our market is quite small, so retention capacities are low. So if the company in Ghana, for instance, the minimum capital requirement for insurance companies is 15 million Ghana cedis only. But here you are insuring big companies with $900 million worth of assets. How do you protect them? And that's just one company. So if you're insuring 100 of such companies with $500 million worth of assets in your books, what do? You have to reinsure, you have to buy insurance from other places. So to a large extent, I do agree with the regulator that insurers should place risk locally. But where there's a challenge, it's important also that insurance companies are allowed to buy reinsurance from outside, because that way we are giving more assurance, higher levels of assurance to our clients that if something occurred, they will be taken care of.
So then you're talking about the reinsurance companies that we have in this country.
Yes.
We know that we have, I think, about three.
Three of them.
For now.
Yes.
And these three, you want to say they don't have the capacity to help rebuy what you hold?
They have capacity, but they have limited capacity. If you are dealing with multinational companies, and in Ghana we have quite a couple of them, who have huge assets, what's the asset base of all these three or four reinsurance companies in the market put together? Sometimes we put all of them together and they are not up to the assets of just one of the big companies we are insuring.
Very interesting. So should we then see the regulator increase the minimum capital requirement for these reinsurance companies and even for you, the insurance companies in this country?
That's a possibility, and I'm almost certain that it's in the pipeline.
I see. Now, let's look at the understanding of insurance in this country. Is it lack of education that we are seeing the very little penetration that we see? I mean, I call it very minimal, a drop in a very big ocean. Under 2%, a population of 28 million people. What is the challenge? We've seen a lot of education. It's still not working. What's the problem?
Very good. The answer lies in your question. There are two things. One is the definition of penetration, and two is the culture of the people. Definition. Like you rightly put, there has been a lot of training, a lot of education on the market about insurance, but nothing is happening. But in many countries, when they talk about insurance penetration, they are talking about every aspect of insurance. We have life assurance, we have non-life assurance, which is property, that's assets and liability. We have pensions, which in some countries fall under insurance. We have medical insurance, which falls under insurance. Okay, so if we are to put all these things into one basket as the insurance basket, then the penetration rate could be probably as high as 5% or maybe 7%. Okay, but that is what we haven't done. So the classification could be the thing. The second bit is culture. I think from my little studies, I've realized that in many countries, they don't have what we have in Ghana or in Africa. We have insurance embedded in our culture. For instance, we have the extended family system. We have the communal system in Noboa, for instance. Okay, so with these things, if something happens to one person in a community, in a village, everybody comes together to go and build or refurbish the roof of that one person whose roof went out. So that's insurance, but it is cultural. Okay, so that bit makes it difficult for local people to go ahead and buy insurance. But in other countries where you don't have extended family systems, you don't have communal systems, they have to buy insurance to protect themselves because they know what happens to them if something goes wrong. You understand? So that is the difference. Now, what do? We have to continue doing education, but above all, we have to innovate. And that innovation will come from the individual insurance companies. But that innovation would have to be supported by regulation. So regulation will have to create an enabling environment for innovation by insurance companies to penetrate those areas that have not been touched by insurance.
But some have also blamed you, the insurance companies, that you said you have to be innovative. Some say your prices, or in terms of the premiums, the charges on it, are too exorbitant. And the ordinary Ghanaian, I mean the average Joe on the street, cannot afford it. And the problem of the turnaround time in terms of claims is also what puts a lot of people off.
Wonderful. Let's deal with the premium bit first. Then we'll come to claims. Do you have a bank account? I'm sure you do. This morning I received a text message from my bank. I won't mention the name. The first text message came, they took 20 cedis from my account. The second one was 3 cedis, 50 pesos. Every month, monthly. Annually, how much would it come to? Let's say 20 times 10 is 200. So a month, more than 50, about 250 cedis every month, exactly. Every year from my account. What do I get back from the bank once they take my money? It is just security for my money. I just go and put my money there for them to guard it for me. At the end of it, I just go for it. Okay? That's all. And they charge me to 250 Ghana cedis. Forget about interest. That comes as a separate thing. But basically, I get the service they render me by keeping my money. They charge me 250 cedis. Insurance companies offer a lot of services. Insurance companies print paper, they tear paper. Everything the banks do, they do. But beyond that, I'm offering you indemnity and or a benefit. So you buy, let's say, a personal accident policy from me, okay? And then I say, pay me 250 cedis. And I can guarantee you 250 cedis can give you a policy worth of at least 25,000 Ghana cedis. So that during the course of that year, if you could get involved in an accident or something, the insurance company, beyond the tearing of paper and everything that I have done, I still pay you up to 25,000 cedis. And Ghanaians cannot afford insurance, but they can afford banking. Think about it.
Well, that's quite interesting. I mean, you explain it very simply, saying that we can afford, but a lot of the times also people talk about the fact that, you know what, 5 years I've been paying this particular insurance, is the same amount of premium. Sometimes it's been reviewed upwards. You don't see them reviewing it downwards, you know, or giving you some kind of rebates. So what is the point? Why don't I rather go and invest that money into treasury bills or somewhere I can earn interest on? After 5 years, I would have made so much.
Wonderful.
I feel that it's the same, another form of insurance.
Wonderful. It's the mentality and the outlook. First of all, if you take insurance, your payment of premiums, as an investment, then you are making a mistake, because they are different things. You put your money in the bank to keep it safe, security, so you go and get it when you need it. You buy an investment product so that your money will grow. You buy insurance, you are buying peace of mind. Okay?
Now,
so that peace of mind you are buying means that if anything, if I have a house, one beautiful house, if I want to keep that house so that if there's an accident, there's fire or something drops from the sky and destroys that house, I'll be able to get that same house back. What you have to do is probably to build 2 houses and sleep in one. So once one is destroyed, you go and sleep in the other, right? What insurance is offering you is that, look, you have this house. If anything should go wrong, I need this house back. What do I do? You just pay a fraction of the value of that house. Sometimes 0.25% of the value of that house for a year to that insurance company. So once you pay that to the insurance company, if anything goes wrong, insurance comes in to indemnify you, to place you in the same position that you were before.
So is it right for insurance companies to now sort of venture to the area of investments? Now there are insurance companies that talk about funeral plan, give me your money, pay every month. When your father dies, I'll pay you back your money. I see that kind of not the core traditional insurance that we do. Some say they're kind of saying, okay, invest your money. We will pay your money back with some other profits when that happens to you. Some have even gone into educational plan. 20 years, we'll pay you back this so much to be able to look at your child university education. How do you explain that? And is it right for them to do it?
It is right. It is called innovation. Insurance, as we developing, we realize that insurance, it's not that it cannot thrive on its own, because there are certain products that do thrive on their own, but it's better for insurance to ride on other products for the benefit of whoever the individual is. So we try to create something like a bouquet or a one-stop shop for everything. So you put them together, products together, just for the benefit. So it's a good thing. I don't think there's any problem with insurance companies offering other products or additional products. And those products you are mentioning anyway are traditional life assurance products. They are nothing new. Insurance, pensions, educational policies, endowments, they've always been around.
I see. Okay. Now, let's move to the area of the domestic insurance. In your quest to make sure that you can reach almost everybody, we've seen an introduction of like agric insurance,
very good.
Those very small ones, mobile insurance, and all those kind of things that you are doing with telcos and those people. I thought that these things should be able to pull people to come in. Why? What is happening?
I think it's still pulling some people, but it's a process. It's a process. I mean, we've started a lot of educational drives. Many insurance companies are partnering with banks to introduce bank assurance products. Agric insurance is also there. Our industry is still quite young in Ghana. So as we develop, there will be more innovation, more products will be developed that will be more attractive to people. For instance, mobile insurance. People don't know, but it is working. It's working for some people. They deduct maybe 0.10 CDs from your credit every month, and if anything happens to you, they will pay you something. So they are there. What insurance companies would have to do would be to increase education, and take it down to the local people. Probably that's what we haven't done.
Do you think 2017, I mean, with a new government in place, you said 2016 was not good. Do you think it will be better? How do you see 2017?
I am very positive. Even though the benefits might not necessarily come in 2017, I'm positive because I am aware that the new government has already started work on the national ID system, which of course would have to work hand in hand with street names and house identification, etc. Okay, so once those things are done, it will increase insurance penetration, because one of the things they said was they will try to formalize the informal sector. Once they do that, it will be very easy for insurance products to reach the informal sector.
The energy sector, I mean, your role there, insurance in Ghana, especially when we are looking at local companies' participation, has been very, very low. And the last time I checked, you had to form a consortium to see what you can do in helping ensuring the FPSO that we had. I mean, how do we overcome that? Now we're going to have a third FPSO coming.
Well, we have. We are ensuring, but like I told you, Ghana is a very small country. It's a developing country. Our per capita income is very low. Our GDP is still very low compared to many other countries. And if you see the amount of capital required for oil business, it is quite huge. So if it is that huge, and to ensure such high values, if you ensure such high values, it means that if there's a loss, you have to be able to provide that kind of money. Our companies are quite small, and the capital base is small, so the money is not there, and that is why a consortium has been formed. The consortium accesses about 5% of the risk, and the remainder goes back to those big companies. But it's important to note also that globally, there are no more than 3 companies offering oil and gas insurance because of the peculiarity of that kind of risk.
High risk.
Very high risk.
So if you are scared?
We're not scared. We are risk managers. So we manage it and spread it out. Like I started with the ocean example. We take it on, spread it out. So if anything happens, the effect will be minimal on Ghana.
If you have to tell those who are listening to you to get themselves involved into insurance, or tell Ghanaians that you have to definitely get yourself insured one or the other in 1 minute, what would you tell them?
I'll tell Ghanaians that insurance is your life. If you lose a limb, you need to get probably, we can't buy you a living limb, but we could fix a prosthetic for you. If you lose your house, we can rebuild your house, we can give you cash, repair, whatever it is. And all those things come as a fraction of the value of that asset. 0.025%. Just keep that in mind. If that is what I have to pay to get my vehicle back, or not vehicle rates are different, to get my house back, for instance, then why should I not buy it?
Thank you very much, Mr. Lartey, for speaking to us.
Thank you.
Well, that's how we draw the curtains down on today's edition of the BNFT Chat. I've been speaking to Mr. Solomon Lartey, the Managing Director of Activa International Insurance. This production is brought to you by Kankid the BFTonline.com. You can always go to our YouTube channel or our Facebook page, and you can watch and also follow all the big stories that make rounds in the world of business here in Ghana. Join us again next time. Goodbye.